oversight. Our county assemblies must wake up and ensure that they undertake their role of primary oversight, to ensure that health as a devolved sector is properly oversighted, to ensure that the health committee in the county assemblies visits these hospitals to ensure that they deliver to the public. Mr. Speaker, health equals human rights. Health is primary, health is important. It's so fundamental, Mr. Speaker, that our maternity wards, our pediatric wards, our laboratories must work to meet the needs of our people. And there can be no substitute, Mr. Speaker, to good health. Mr. Speaker, this report comes at a time when we are moving to this conference. And, Mr. Speaker, it is inconceivable, Mr. Speaker, that basic things such as seats, and Mr. Nyonka has addressed this, can be missing in hospitals in Turkana when there's a budget and when there's money. We must ensure that the CECs responsible for health rise up to the occasion and ensure that health facilities in these countries and these counties work, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I support the report.
Senator Esther Okenyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also wish to comment on this report. First, I wish to congratulate the chair, Senator Jackson Mandago, and I wish to indicate that I equally contributed to this inspection visit because I was still a member of the health committee when this was happening. So I feel like this report should not be left out without my comment, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you look at most of the observations by the members of the committee, they actually show you the state of the healthcare system in our county government, not just in Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, but so many other county governments are facing these challenges, Mr. Speaker. And when you look at the proposal, the recommendation to have the county assemblies be given more oversight mandate, this is because so many things are happening which do not actually need the Committee of Senate for Health to go down there and see. If the health committees in the county assemblies were strong enough, some of these issues would be dealt with. Because sometimes when the Senate Health Committee visit, there are very quick gains we actually get. Sometimes you go to a facility, maybe there are no curtains, there are no mosquito nets, and those impromptu visits make the executive act swiftly and put such into place. Mr. Speaker, the recommendation of having revenue collection points automated, this is one way of minimizing on losses so that counties are also increasing their own sources of revenue. This recommendation needs to be taken seriously, not by only the county government mentioned here, but all the 47 county governments, Mr. Speaker. I could go on and on, but this report captures most of the frustrations ordinary people would wish to see addressed so that they can actually enjoy the services and see the fruits of devolution, Mr. Speaker, so that we also have a health nation who can make informed decision on any time we call them upon to. So thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I wish to support this report. Thank you.
I believe, Senator Mandago, you are the chairperson and you will be expected to reply. I am seeing Senator Methu, who requested earlier on to speak to it. He's not in the House. And so there being no other member interested in contributing, I will call upon the chairperson to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First, let me thank my colleagues who have contributed to this report, Honorable Speaker of the Health Committee, on our inspection visit to West Pokot, Turkana County and Trans Nzoia County, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to say that counties should take these reports very seriously, Honorable Speaker. because the matters that we found, Honorable Speaker, there are those that can be sorted immediately by county governments. There are those in the short term can also be addressed, Honorable Speaker, and there are those issues they need to plan as they do their budget making process to ensure sufficient resources are appropriated, Honorable Speaker, so that those matters can be addressed. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, I wish to encourage counties. From our visit, we found that it is extremely necessary for them to have support visits of all facilities in terms of inspection through the county health management teams, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, that will ensure that small matters like curtains, seats, beds that needs repair, Honorable Speaker, can be sorted out. And Honorable Speaker, this House has done its job by passing the Facilities Improvement Financing Act, Honorable Speaker, that then allows the individual facilities to have funds that are being managed and administered within the health facility, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, the small issues that look small but matter in terms of healthcare delivery can be addressed from the resources that have been raised through the F5 Act, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the other issue that we want to ask counties and county assemblies to make sure the county executives adhere to is to ensure that the funds that have been raised in the facilities through the FIF should only be utilized for purposes of health and in the facility, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we get dismayed as a House to find a county government that has expended 5 million from a facility for a conference or a benchmarking tour for agriculture, Honorable Speaker. Something totally not related to health, Honorable Speaker. We want to encourage counties to make sure that those funds are utilized for that purpose that has been set aside. And with that, Honorable Speaker, I wish to reply.
Honorable members, I will direct that putting of the question to this motion be deferred to the next sitting of the House. Now, Honorable Senators, for the convenience of the business of the House, I will rearrange the order paper and I will direct that order number 15 be called out. Clerk, call order number 15.
Order number 15, motion, implementation of an automated and decentralized certificate of good conduct system in Kenya.
Senator Joe Nyutu, proceed to move this motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a motion on implementation of an automated and decentralized certificate of good conduct system in Kenya. Aware that a certificate of good conduct is a major requirement for Kenyan citizens in accessing employment, business opportunities, and in some instances, financial engagements with financial institutions in Kenya, with the certificate having a validity period of 1 year. Concerned that many Kenyans are compelled to travel long distances to access this service, both for the initial application and for any subsequent application, making the process tedious, time-consuming, and costly. Further concerned that the current manual application system is prone to delays and inconsistencies, which may compromise the authenticity and integrity of a certificate of good conduct. Cognizant that the importance of introducing an automated good conduct certification system, including the utilization of biometric fingerprint verification through the deployment of biometric kits, will enhance accuracy, security, and expediency in verifying individuals' record. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the National Police Service Commission, in collaboration with the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, to 1, develop and implement an automated good conduct certification system designed to streamline the issuance, renewal, and verification of certificates of good conduct. 2, incorporate advanced technologies such as biometric fingerprint recognition, data encryption, and secure communication protocols to ensure the accuracy of individuals' records. 3, establish decentralized service points and deploys mobile registration units across counties to enhance accessibility, especially in remote areas. And 4, scale up public awareness initiatives in rural areas on the application and renewal process for the certificate of good conduct. Mr. Speaker, just like the motion states, a certificate of good conduct is a very important document, Mr. Speaker, because like stated in this motion, you may not be able to get into or any employment opportunity without a certificate of good conduct, Mr. Speaker. We know as people who underwent an electoral process during the last elections, Mr. Speaker, that it was also one of the requirements that we had to meet in order for us to be able to vie for public office. Mr. Speaker, sometimes you need it when you are applying for a bank facility or a credit facility. And this is a very important document, Mr. Speaker, especially for young people. Young people take a lot of time sometimes before they get the certificate of good conduct, and basically because it is manual, Mr. Speaker. And so automation of a certificate of good conduct will save on time, because, of course, anything that is automated, of course, takes less time than anything that is manual, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, you also know that those seeking certificates of good conduct sometimes are forced to travel long distances in order for them to go and have their biometrics taken, and this physical form failed, Mr. Speaker. So automation of the processing of these most important documents will help our young people, will help every Kenyan who wants this particular certificate to do sometimes very urgent business, sometimes to make some very urgent application for a job, an urgent application for a facility, Mr. Speaker, because sometimes some Kenyans take sometimes Kenyans are forced to take some facility with the bank to attend to some health challenges, Mr. Speaker. I do not want to bring politics into this, but sometimes you need, you need to be liquid at the shortest time possible. And when you get to a bank, you need to have a certificate of good conduct, which if then it continues being manual and takes all this time, will sometimes even cost people their lives, Mr. Speaker. And so it is only important that as people who are progressive, as leaders who are progressive, as leaders who care about our people, especially our young people, our elderly people, our people who are seeking facilities, Mr. Speaker, that we automate the process of this, of obtaining this particular document, Mr. Speaker. And so the benefits that will come from an automated way of processing a certificate of good conduct is something that I cannot gainsay, Mr. Speaker. They are there for everybody to see. And, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and ask that the good Professor Tomo Jienda, Senior Counsel, seconds this particular motion, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Senator Professor Tomo Jienda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I second the motion on the automation of certificates of good conduct, Mr. Speaker, because this would not only be the foundation of convenience, but would ensure, Mr. Speaker, that our young people spend less time and are able to access certificates of good conduct in no time, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is doable because the ID system or the issuance of IDs, and now that we have centralized the data system, Mr. Speaker, this motion is commendable, and I second it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I now propose the question that aware that a certificate of good conduct is a major requirement for Kenyan citizens in assessing employment, business opportunities, and in some instances, financial engagements with financial institutions in Kenya, with the certificate having a validity period of 1 year. Concerned that many Kenyans are compelled to travel long distances to access this service, both for the initial application and for any subsequent applications, making the process tedious, time-consuming, and costly. Further concern that the current manual application system is prone to delays and inconsistencies, which may compromise the authenticity and integrity of a certificate of good conduct. Cognizant that the importance of introducing an automated good conduct certificate system, including the utilization of biometric fingerprint verification through the deployment of biometric kits, will enhance accuracy, security, and expediency in verifying individuals' record. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the National Police Service Commission, in collaboration with the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, 1, develop and implement an automated good conduct certification system designed to streamline the issuance, renewal, and verification of certificates of good conduct. 2, incorporate advanced technologies such as biometric fingerprint recognition, data encryption, and secure communication protocols to ensure the accuracy of individuals' records. 3, establish decentralized service points and deploys mobile registration units across counties to enhance accessibility, especially in remote areas. And lastly, 4, scale up public awareness initiatives in rural areas on the application and renewal process for the certificate of good conduct. Now, honorable senators, this motion is now available for members to contribute to it, having been moved and by Senator Joe Nyutu and seconded by Senator Mandago. I will call upon those who are willing to contribute to it, and I'll start with Senator Mandago Jackson Kiplagat.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is a very critical motion because the document itself is a document that is required, Honorable Speaker, by not just the young people of this nation, but by citizens of this country who require verification in terms of their conduct and confirmation, Honorable Speaker, that indeed they are lawful citizens of this nation, for them to be able to access services ranging from employment to financial services, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this being a critical document, its availability, therefore, is imperative that it's made possible that all citizens, regardless of the regions or the places they operate from, this service should be available, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if you consider the milestones this government has covered in terms of provision of digital technology, Honorable Speaker, the fiber network in the country, Honorable Speaker, is at a coverage that would comfortably say this service should be available at each and every ward in this country, Honorable Speaker, because of the fiber connectivity that the government has put in place. There is no reason absolutely as to why citizens should still have to travel, Honorable Speaker, from their comfort of business locations or where they reside to look for this service that can be availed digitally, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I therefore want to urge that resources be availed to make it possible for the National Police Service Commission to avail this process, this document, Honorable Speaker, to avail a process that citizens can apply wherever they are. They don't need to travel because of the availability of technology, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is one country that has a mobile phone penetration of about 95%, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, most of the citizens with mobile phones can comfortably operate those phones, do the applications using their phones, Honorable Speaker, and also receive the documents, Honorable Speaker, through their phones, making it easy, fast, and effective to deliver this service, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I therefore wish to support this motion and ask the House and the National Police Service Commission to actually consider this, Honorable Speaker, because it is a critical matter, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, The other matter along this certificate of good conduct, Honorable Speaker, is that we have prisons in this country, Honorable Speaker, which are correctional facilities, Honorable Speaker. And I think there is something critical there that needs to be addressed. When people are found to have broken the law and they are put to prison, Honorable Speaker, the purpose of the prisons is to actually offer correctional services, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there are young people in this country who have been sentenced to prison. Their fingerprints have been taken, Honorable Speaker. They are unable to access these services because once they apply for the same good conduct, Honorable Speaker, the response will be, you are in the data, you are in our crime database, Honorable Speaker. What happens with a young person who has served their sentence, their time, they have been reformed? And remember, Honorable Speaker, some of these people come out with very useful skills and they become experts in some sectors, Honorable Speaker. Today, as we speak, Kenya Prisons is among the top manufacturers of top quality furniture in this country, Honorable Speaker, courtesy of the correctional services they are offering. What happens to these people who have gone through the process of correction? They have come out of those prisons, Honorable Speaker.
Mandago, just hold your thoughts there because it is 1 o'clock. You will have a balance of 16 minutes to continue your contribution to the motion when the House next resumes. Now, Honorable Senators, it is now 1 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until later today, Wednesday, 6th of August, 2025 at 2:30 p.m.
All right, here on The Explainer tonight, we're speaking with the Senator for Busia County, Okia Omtata, and we have a wide-ranging conversation. As always, your questions or comments, the hashtag is The Explainer at Citizen TV Kenya. At Yvonne Okwara, if you wish to send us a text message, the number is 22422. Thank you so much for being with us, Senator. It's been a while since we spoke.
Yeah, quite some time.
Yeah. Karibu sana. Now that we have you here, I think the best place to start with you, Senator, because we don't want to make assumptions here on the program. We want to hear from the proverbial horse's mouth. Senator, are you running for president?
I intend to run for president. I appointed a presidential exploratory committee last year. They are going around counties. They have done 31 counties. We have 16 to go. Their preliminary report so far is positive. I like doing things in a scientific way. So when the report comes out, we hope by October, I should be able to answer that question either in the affirmative or in the negative. But so far, things look like I'm going to be vying for the presidency.
So tell us what this exploratory committee is doing exactly, even as they go out to the counties.
Well, what they do is they advertise a venue, and then they invite a cross-section of, they get views from a cross-section of people who turn up, and have a number of things that they ask. And it also carries out, they also carry out a census and an opinion poll on preferred candidates, and the opinion poll is designed in such a way that I don't feature, so that it's people themselves who have to mention it. So they come out as a largely neutral platform, and out of the work they are doing, we're also developing a policy framework to be to input into what we have already done in the boardroom. We already have a very clear policy position, what needs to be done from the boardroom position. So it's also being tested on the ground through the exploratory committee. And the turnouts have been good. Even in areas where we thought that the reception might not be so good, like in Bomet and Kericho, there were carnival situations. So the program was good, but from the report I've seen, the strongest support that has come out has been from Central and parts of Rift, where I've visited. As I told you, I've not visited 16 counties. Those are all the counties in Western Kenya have not been visited. They've also not visited parts of North Rift, areas like Uasin Gishu, Trans Nzoia, have not been visited. They have done Kajiado, reception was very good. They have done Kwale and Kilifi, reception was very good. And so I am waiting to see what the verdict is. But so far the chances are that where we are today, 70% I'll be on the ballot.
Okay,
yeah.
But you seem to be preempting the decision or the work of...
No, they have given me a what do you call it? A preliminary report,
okay,
which seems to suggest that.
So 16 counties to go. What are the chances that maybe that 16 will not be as positive? And what are the chances that the committee will say, this is not a good idea? And if they do, will you then not run for president?
I'm a realist. I'm not running for president because I think there's a vacuum or because I want a job or because anything else. I'm just running for president because I feel there's a job to be done. Right now, we are facing an existential threat as a country. And I feel, having analyzed whatever I've analyzed, I have built a vehicle in terms of an ideological framework of what needs to be done to fix the country. And so that's what I have put down on the table. I have a document I can share. If anybody asks me, what do you want to do? I'll put a document on the table and say, this is what I want to do.
What do you want to do?
Well, in a broad summary, what I want to do is I've got a vision that's in the national anthem. The vision of this country is in the national anthem, very clearly spelled out. The Swahili version, forget about the English version. The Swahili version of our national anthem. When you look at it, it has got that very, very clear vision that what this country should look like. Now, the mission to that vision is the Constitution, implementation of the Constitution. And even in implementing the Constitution, I've got what I call anchor chapters that need to be done. Like if you had to ask me, what would you do in your first 100 days if you are elected president? I would tell you the first thing I'll do is to destroy the imperial presidency. And the imperial presidency is nothing but the fact that the power of the purse, money, the president controls both money and executive power. So if I was to have my first 90 days, I would want to break that by implementing what the Constitution requires in Article 225, Clause 1, that we should have an independent treasury. You cannot have a devolved system of government and then you have a national treasury that is part of the executive. You cannot have the theory of separation of powers, which basically for me the three powers are the adjudicative power in the judiciary, the executive power, the sword, in the presidency, and the money in parliament. Today, all our problems come from the fact that money is with the president. Like Achebe would say, the president holds both the knife and the cake. So he doesn't need you. And you have seen that, what that has done to our institutions. You will follow, look at anywhere the president goes. You have these people coming up who are members of parliament, who have passed a budget, coming up and making mini budgets whenever the president has a public function, be it a church function, be it a funeral, be it a state function. They go there and begin requesting for what they call development. And now you find, like, you are being told that because of the broad-based government, Luo Nyanza is now seeing development. Because the president is an emperor, he controls and owns the state. So the design of the constitution, that's if you look at chapter 12, is that money should be controlled by parliament. That power must go back to parliament so that the president can be lobbying parliament. And an MP does not have to be forced by proximity to look for proximity to power to be able to do a project. What you will do is MPs will be able to lobby each other. I want a road in my area, I'm a member of parliament. I will lobby my friends and say, in the budget, help me get this in. Then he says, okay, next time, what will you do for me? So there's a trade-off, and the wealth of the nation is redistributed by the representatives of the people, not by one man.
Okay.
So to me, that is one thing that needs to be done.
Okay.
To take the treasury away from the executive, have it professionally run, lock away our money, and for any money to leave, it must be approved by parliament in a budget, and the control of budget must then sanction the withdrawal. That way, we drain the swamp.
Okay. I want us to just speak about the person who is the current holder of that office, who recently, just earlier this week, did a sort of self-appraisal of his performance so far in office. And of course, that self-appraisal of President William Ruto has a direct bearing on your ambition to be president. I'd like us to listen together to what he had to say, and then we'll hear your reaction. This is President William Ruto on why he is best suited to continue running the country.
Nimekuwa mjumbe miaka 15. Nimekuwa naibu wa rais miaka 10. Sio experience inatosha? Mimi sio mzee sana. Si mimi ni kijana, mimi naelewa kufanya maneno. Ama namna gani? Mimi nimesoma ya kutosha. Hatujawahi kuwa na daktari ambaye ni rais wa nchi. Mimi ni mtu naelewa. Mimi nimezaliwa huko mashinani. Sasa shida ya Kenya mimi naelewa. Sasa mimi nitasema nimekosa kufanya hii kazi kwa sababu gani? I have no reason. I don't have an excuse. So I have to do the difficult job. Hii kazi yote ambayo mimi nafanya, kazi ngumu, ni kwa sababu there has never been an opportunity for a person with the experience I have, with the education I have, with the knowledge I have in Kenya. So I must do it. I have combined all my predecessors, you know. I have the courage of Jomo. I have the understanding of Moi. I have the education of Kibaki. And I have the plan we shared with Uhuru Kenyatta. I have no excuse than to do everything that needs to be done in this nation. Transforming our health provision, transforming our infrastructure development, that is the assignment that I have. Nani miaka miwili tu peke yake. Tell me what's going to happen in 5 years. Tell me what's going to happen in 10 years. Tell me what's going to happen in 20 years. You will not recognize Kenya because it will be a different place because of housing.
So, he says he's got combined all the good qualities of all his predecessors. You, a senator, want to unseat this?
There is, if you look at the Constitution, we have got 2 provisions. There's qualification and there's suitability. Article 73 talks of suitability. Article 99 talks of qualifications. He's talking about qualifications, not suitability. And I'm very happy he did not say he has integrity. He never told us he has integrity. Look at all those attributes he has given himself. None says he has integrity, that he cannot steal from us, that he cannot mismanage the economy. He's just saying he's gone to school, he has been in parliament, he has been whatever, but he's not telling us he has got integrity. What did he do in parliament? What is his track record in parliament? What is his track record as a minister? What is his track record as a president? And I agree with him that if he is allowed to continue, we shall not recognize Kenya. Kenya will be a basket case. It will be dead, it will be gone. So I fully agree with him that if we allow him to continue, Kenya will not be there. We will not recognize it. And if we have already, Kenya is in the national anthem. So if we can't recognize Kenya in the national anthem, it will not be the Kenya we know. That will be a destroyed country, and I think he's very, very committed to achieving that. Then look at the last thing, that housing. Right now, as we speak here, there's a big crisis in Busia. It began about 1 week ago. The ATC, the Graduate Training College, which was designed, when they designed Masinde Muliro, they designed the Sangalo College, then Busia, they designed the Agricultural Training Center. This gentleman has decided to put there affordable housing. Where are farmers going to train? All these things. He has put affordable and Busia again in somewhere in a disused airfield in Funyula. So he's just creating a market for cement and building bars and all these building materials, where I think he's heavily invested and he's just trying to make a kill for himself. He's a man who serves himself. Look at the ego that he portrays. Look at the narcissism that comes out from his own mouth. Look at the self-worship that has just come out from his own mouth. That's a sick man. He's not a normal man, he's sick. He thinks that is the best thing that God has created on this earth. He is not. We are all made in the image and likeness of God. You cannot say you can combine all these people into one. Look at that self-worship, that narcissism, that blindness. That's a man who cannot lead. That's a man to be led, not to lead.
Let's take a break here on the program. We'll come back and talk a lot more about your bid, about the state of corruption in the country. There's much to talk about, the state of law and order. And indeed, that big question that we've heard from you for quite some time now, the matter of odious debt. That is something we'll be talking about here with Senator Okoiti Omtata. We will get to that in a moment. Please continue to send us your views. We'll be putting those to the Senator when we return here on The Explainer.
And thanks for staying with us. On my far right is Professor Peter Kagwanja, the CEO, Africa Policy Institute, and the Deputy Party Leader of the People's Liberation Party. Good morning, Prof.
Morning.
Lovely having you on the broadcast.
Thank you very much.
And your neighbor is a formidable member of the founder members of the University Academic Staff Union, Dr. James Nyikal. Good morning.
Good morning.
And lovely having you here on the broadcast. He represents Seme constituency and is the chairperson of the National Assembly's Health Committee. Karoli Omondi is a Suba South MP, also joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Lovely having you. His teacher and mwalimu, Professor Kibwana, also is with us in studio. The pioneer governor of the county of Makueni and Professor of Law at Daystar University. Thanks for your time, Prof.
Good morning.
Much appreciated. Well, gentlemen, a lot to discuss, but first, let's begin with this brief comment, and I seek your accounts of what the President said. Shortly we'll be getting to that. And first coming to you, Professor Kivutha Kibwana, to discuss this complex interplay of what defines our nationhood. There seems to be a very thin line between our ethnicity, our ethnic makeup, our cultures, and our citizenship, is it? And is there a struggle between the three, in your view?
I think that is correct, and it is not something that's started recently, as it were, because particularly during the colonial era, the then government was very adept in terms of identifying ethnicities so that it could succeed in ensuring there was divide and rule. And that is why, people from different groups were profiled, and it was not even easy those days to have, for example, political parties which were national. We were encouraged to have political parties that were district-based, that therefore were inherently divisive.
Yeah.
So there's actually that kind of history because in the pre-colonial era, people, coexisted. Of course, there were some fights and so on once in a while, but there was a lot of coexistence. People would even travel in long distances to do trade and so on. So I think one must state that this business of what Anderson and even Ajulu called political ethnicity, has its basis from the colonial period. And indeed, particularly the recent constitution does identify what also has been described as moral ethnicity or positive ethnicity, where there is celebration of a people's culture, diversity, and so on. And the constitution therefore was struggling to accommodate both positive ethnicity or moral ethnicity as well as nationhood.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, and I think this will continue to be part of our discussion, is the perpetuation of political ethnicity after independence, because those who are leaders of political parties, particularly the main ones, the ones called kingpins, have wanted to continue to cash in on the question of ethnicity so that they can make sure that their politics are founded on this particular principle. And yet, as I conclude, Kenyans work, together in all manner of ethnicities. We go to school together in all manner of ethnicities. We intermarry in terms of all ethnicities. And therefore, in those spaces, there isn't, one could say, negative ethnicity. When you go to barrios, you find people from all ethnicities, going to those barrios because they have intermarried, they have gone to school together, they work in the same spaces, and so on. And yet, come election time, and people somehow now find their ethnicities. And like 2007-8, we have even conflict on the basis of such negative ethnicity.
Dr. Nyikal, Prof paints a picture of how, after colonization, the setting in of black colonization in the context of the founding leadership of the country, and then thereafter, today's neo-colonialism state. How have these two layers of also challenges contributed to political ethnicity and the failure in identifying a Kenyan by his nationality?
To me, and it's really good we're discussing this today. To me, three factors that are related and are actually has set us back as a country, and I think has done the same in most African countries. One is tribalism. Two is corruption. Three is populism, which is driven by selfishness and unprincipled ambition. You put those three things together and we are actually in the disaster that we find ourselves in. The colonialists, as Professor said, used it and found it useful to enhance tribalism because they used the principle of divide and rule. It was therefore easy to set one tribe against each other. There are things in history, even in the struggle for independence, I'll give you, when they purposely set up one tribe against the other. The one that I know of, I've had the history, I've read a little because not much has been written by our own people, is the death of Councillor Ofafa, who was a Luo, and at that time there was a big to push the Luos against the Kikuyus because of they didn't want that unity, and so Ofafa was believed to have been killed by the colonialists, but they blamed it on the Kikuyus. The history says that leaders like Jaramogi had to come to Nairobi and say, no, this is tribalism being enhanced by the colonialists. They are setting up against each other. So it was in their favor. And if you even looked at employment, they also used that. You found that there were people who said, these people are fit to be in this. For example, the Luos in the civil service, for example, the Kambas in the army, and that kind of thing. And they set it up and said people from Central Province who actually were the most affected in terms of being deprived of their livelihood, which is land. You know, in other places, the colonialists didn't take people's land and drive them away. But in Central Province, that's what they did. And then they depicted in all sorts of ways. So it was used. Now, fast forward. You are calling it neocolonialism. I don't know what to call it, but this is just our politics. I think we have found it easier to mobilize people on tribal lines. Sometimes we use natural things, but negatively. People find human beings are group hunters like other animals.
Okay.
So they quickly form a group and they say, now we want pursue our things as a group, as hunters, which is a good thing. Now, tribe is a very easy thing to use as a group.
Okay.
Because we have a sense of belonging from birth. So if you drive us along those lines, then obviously it is easier to mobilize us than to mobilize people on the important things that unite people, like security, like cost of living, like health, like education. So we mention those things in Paris, but we use tribalism to actually, and that is why most of our parties, even parties that actually have a big national coverage, you still find that at the core of it, there's tribe. And even within parties, people still say we are in this party, but we are saying we from this group in this party, we don't feel. So we are using it, and therefore it is something we really need to find factors to divide us. Culture itself is good.
Okay.
It is how we are using it that to me is an issue.
And Prof, how then do we carve out a unified Kenyan identity in the midst of appreciating our ethnic